All right, I'm laying out some plates here. I've got a plate from Walmart and a bowl and then a lid, I think from a little plastic lid to a mason jar there. What you don't see when I first start these videos is the fact that I actually lay these out and then I move everything off of the paper and then I start the video. Got some blue and some yellow. It's actually a decent day when I did this. If you can't tell by watching my videos, I love using fluorescent paints, and especially lighting them up with black light. This painting here, once I finished it up, my wife saw it and she's like, we're keeping that one. The paints with the spray cans with lids where you can actually see the colors on the top, those I get from Hobby Lobby. Not sponsored, but you know, if they want to, great. Little plastic bag get from Walmart, just crumpled it up and lay it down. This particular one here, once I pull it back, then I kind of move it around a little bit to try and get all three of those planets squished out with that cover. Excuse me. It does make a little bit of a mess. I wear gloves when you see me doing these videos because I don't like getting paint all over my hands. And by all means, kids, wear a respirator whenever you do this. When I first started, I think my first one or two paintings I tried without using a respirator, even though I was outside. Man, I was miserable. I did not like that feeling of having paint boogers up my nose. Little black on the edges there of each planet that create a shadow, and then I use white to kind of create a light side of the planet. If you've ever seen the Earth from the outer space, you'll see that it is light on one side and another. I had to give some drying time there. You don't want to put down your covers, the bowls or lids, without letting that dry. Otherwise, you'll get a ring. When you pull the bowls or lids up, you'll get a ring around that planet, and then you've got to go back and shade it in. And I know this for a fact because I have done it so many times. Bottom right hand corner, I sprayed down some fluorescent blue so that I could, once I scribe my initials and the year, it will glow under black light. You can barely see it, but that's okay. I know I did it. And if you haven't hit that like and subscribe button, we'd love for you to do that. Comment if you wish. I don't remember what I was doing at this point. I was probably looking for something. Paint, apparently. Lay down some blue and some navy blue and black. And I think what I did here was Rust-Oleum. And when you mix, you got to watch when you mix paints, like using the spray paint from Hobby Lobby and then using like Rust-Oleum from your local hardware store, you can get a crackling effect, and you'll see that at the end of the video. But also, when I go to lay down some stars here in just a minute, you'll see that they kind of fade out, and some of them actually disappear. And that's okay. What you have to do there is just wait for that black to dry, and the stars that faded actually give it more of a distant look. You'll see it here as I'm flicking them on. Some of them they disappear, others kind of fade out. So I give it some time to dry. Well, actually, I use a flame method here to dry it up a little bit so that I can continue. Because I was getting ready to lay this part down right here, and I realized that the white was being absorbed by the black. I was like, I got to dry that out a little bit. Move some paints out of the way. Speed that up. Look how fast I move. And kids, don't try this at home. I did cut out a part right here because I actually caught the top of the can on fire. First time I've had that happen. And then managed to catch my glove on fire. I didn't panic, just put it out. And right there, you'll see the video's been cut. That's because I was taking some time to put my glove out. I looked like a human candle at that point. Flicking some more stars. Now that that black and navy blue has had some time to dry, I can flick some more stars on. And you want to go in different directions, not just one direction, so that your stars have a more randomized pattern. You can see I went to the right that time. I started going to the left when I started. And now I can lay down the white as a base because I wanted a, I don't even know what to call it, a pretty line behind the planets there. So I laid down a base, and then I start laying down some more colors on top of that white. That just helps to make it pop, because when you lay down colors on top of black, sometimes they aren't very bright. But when you lay down white first, and then you can lay down your other colors, it makes it brightens it up quite a bit. Now for a nice thin white line down all that. When I use this spade, I spray at the middle of the spade. I don't spray down towards the painting. I'm actually hitting like I'm spray painting the spade itself. It's just a drywall. You get that at the hardware department. It's just a drywall spade. And what happens is the paint will ricochet off of the side of that spade and go straight down. As a matter of fact, if I were to show you a side view of that spade, you'd see that it's bulged up in the center of the blade and not near the bottom. I'm going to have to take some time here in the near future and clean it up. Just a piece of cardboard that I've ripped. I use it quite a bit for auroras. And just laying down some different colors. I decided to go with multiple layers on this one, and I got a really pretty purple out of it when it was all said and done. I laid down a purple, and then I laid down a hot pink on top of it, and it's just it looks really beautiful underneath black light especially. Took that same cardboard cutout and decided to put an aurora up there, and I'll add some lines to it, straight up and down lines to it here in just a moment using that same spade there I used earlier. Again, if you see, you can even see it there. I'm not hitting near the bottom. I'm actually spraying around the center of that drywall spade, or whatever you want to call that thing. It's used to spread out mud on drywall. Yeah, you can really see it there. I'm hitting about the center of the unit itself. And I accidentally bumped my bowl, and you can see there at the top right, I'm pointing at the screen like you can see my thumb right now, or my finger. I had moved the paint, but what you can do is go back over it. I laid down a little bit of fluorescent orange and then hot pink, and made a nice little glow on the planet, and that set me up for the rest of them as well. It's like, well, that looks actually pretty good, so we can do the rest. One of the things I love about spray paint art is that if you do mess up, I like what Bob Ross says, we don't mess up, we have happy little accidents. And you can just go over it and start over again and make those fixes. So there we go. I figured the other one's got it. We're going to add it to this one here. And if you can see, I was talking about the different paints earlier. The white and pink there are starting to crackle or crack on the black background. It gives it just an amazing look. Normally you wouldn't want that look, but it just looks fantastic for this particular painting. There are times that you do want it to crackle. This time was just one of those, oh, it's crackling. And it looked really good. I'm going to lay down some clear on that bottom right hand corner where I had originally sprayed the blue, and I've got a little spade that I use, a painter's spade that I use to scribe my initials in there, and then the year. This one was made in 2023 for those of you watching in the future. I know you can hardly see it there, but when you get up close to the painting in real life, you can see it just fine. Now I'm laying down a, excuse me, a clear coat. My can, that's the same one I caught on fire earlier. Apparently the lid, or the cap, has a leak, and it's just dripping clear coat everywhere. So I had to take my left hand and kind of cup it underneath it and hold it from dripping all over the painting. And there we have it. Got the final look. Hope you enjoyed it. Hit that like button and subscribe. Now I'm off to frame it up and hang it in my house.